Welcome to this tutorial on how to use the Grow Shrink effect to zoom in on objects in PowerPoint. Here is an example of what you are going to learn today. If I click once, we have a circle effect and we have a zoom. If I click a second time, it disappears. I click a third time, we go to a new location with the same effect. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our circles. We're going to draw a circle on this object and we're going to draw a circle on this object. So we will go up to the top to the Shapes menu and we're going to click on an oval shape. And we're going to pick the bigger object first to do our circle because we're just going to duplicate the circles in order to save time. So I'm going to come down here, hit my Shift button, and now we turn the oval into a round circle. We're going to go up at the top on the left-hand side over here. Be careful you don't do the text side, but we want the graphic side or the shape side. And we're going to get rid of our no fill. And we're going to enlarge the weight of the line down to 3. And we're going to move this over and line it up. Oop, don't want to do that. We're going to move it over and line it up in the middle, and we're going to fudge and we're going to copy this and we're going to paste this again, and we're going to take this one and we're going to move it over to the smaller object, but use the same circle on both. Save us a little bit of time. So we're going to take the first object and we're going to animate it and come over here, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make it appear. Book. And we're going to go over and turn it into a wheel. Now, if you notice, I made a mistake. We gave it 2 effects, we only have 1 here because I went back up here on the effects on this menu. This starts or replaces, what it did, it replaced my first effect. My first effect was the appear. Second effect was the wheel. We look over here on the animation pane, we only have 1 effect. And that's because I pulled the second effect from this window. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is, and I'm going to delete this so we can do it over, so you can see it right from the very start again. I want to go over, I want to do the appear. Now it begins the first effect. On any additional effects to this object, we want to go to the Add Animation. So we go to add animation, and we have the same windows, and we want to add the wheel effect. So we come down here, if I can get out of that menu, and now we have the wheel effect. So we have 2 effects. We have the appear and we have the wheel. Next thing I want to do is I want to make this disappear after it's done, and so we're going to go back up on this side, add animation, and we're going to make it disappear. So now we have 3 effects. We have a appear, the wheel, and the disappear. We can do this with preview, and it disappears. Now that we know we already got our size, we're going to delete this first circle. I'm going to go over here and fudge, and I'm going to do a control paste of a second circle. Now the reason I did this is because I have automatically captured all of the effects for the second circle without having to do it manually. So by copying this and moving it over, I have another set of effects. Let's see what happens in preview. There we go. This first circle disappears. Second circle disappears. Our second step is to crop our image so that the background here so that we can use it in the zoom effect. So the first thing we're going to do is go up here to our slide and we're going to duplicate it 3 times. Okay, and you'll see why in a minute while we're doing it 3 times. Anyway, we're going to come down here now to our second slide. I'm going to wipe off the effects that we have. So all we have is just the circle. I'm going to go down to the third slide and do the same thing. Eliminate all the effects. And come back up the second slide. And now we have our circle with no effects. First thing we're going to do is we're going to select our background. We're going to go up to our picture format. We're going to go over here to where it says crop. Now we don't want to select the top part. If we select the top part, it'll try to crop the image as is. We don't want that. So I'm going to do Control Z and do that. And we're going to go back up. Again to the top, to the picture format. We're going to go up to the button that's below the first button. Select it, and it's going to say crop shape. That's what we want. We're going to crop a circle. Oops, it's not a circle. How do we make it a circle? We go back up to the crop shape. The right below it is aspect ratio, and select 1:1. Now we have our circle. We simply move over to where we line up on our little black circle underneath, and we're going to come down, line up on that circle, and line up here, line up there, and now we're all set. So we'll go back up to the top, we'll crop that, and the thing we want to make sure is that our image is behind the circle. So we're going to send our image back behind the circle for sure. We're going to select both of them. We're going to group it by doing Control G. Now we have a group, and now we're going to do a copy paste. We're going to do Control C. We're going to come up to slide number 1, Control V. We're a little bit off. We're just going to line it up here real quick. And now we have our cropped image in place. First thing we're going to do with this cropped image is we're going to put an effect in place. And so we have a brand new cropped image. We're going to go up to Animations. We first of all want this to appear. Now we have the appear effect. It's listed as group 11. And now we're going to go and we're going to give it another effect, but this time after the initial one we go over here to this add animation, and we're going to add the grow and shrink. Now we have the grow and shrink, and we want to be able to get rid of it at the end, so we're going to go back over to the add animation, go down at the bottom to disappear. So here we have our 3 effects right here. If we were to play it right now, we'd see our circles animate first. That's what we put in first. And then at the very end, our image we just added. So we want to take number 11 here, and we want to move it up under number 24. So we're going to select all 3. We're going to go up and we're going to add it just below 24. There's our 3. Now if we do a preview, you should see the circle, the enlargement, disappear, the next circle. So all we got to do is do our next cropping. So we're going to come down here to number 3 slide, and we're going to go through the same process again. We're going to select the background image. We're going to go up to picture format. We're going to go up to the crop shape. We're going to give it the crop shape of the oval. We go down to the oval. Now we go back up and we do the aspect ratio of 1:1. And now we line it up on our image. And we're going to come down from the top and line it up. And from the bottom, line it up. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to go back up and we're going to crop it. Now we have our cropped image. And the next thing we're going to do is send our image itself to the back to make sure that the circle's in front. Now we got our circle and our image together. However, I noticed that we have, before we go any further, we have some animations came back on that slide. I don't know why, but it did. We're going to get rid of it. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to select this. We're going to do a copy. We're going to group first, Control G. Then we're going to Control C, copy it. We're going to go back up to the top. We're going to do a Control V, which would paste it. Is that our image? Yes, it is. We're going to Control Z. Okay, now what we want to do is do the same animations as we did before. So we go up to animations. It's a brand new animation, so we're going to use this panel. The first thing we want to do is we want it to appear. Second thing we want to do is we want to come over here to the add. Now we got the initial one in there. We add animation. We want it to do the wheel or excuse me, the grow and shrink. And we have the grow and shrink. And we want to go back up, and then we want to add the disappear. And we have our disappear. So on this second one here, where it grows and shrinks, we want it to come in after the previous presentation. And by the way, the one up here on the grow and shrink, we want it to appear after the previous. Okay, let's try our animation. So we're going to go in presentation view, and I'm going to click once. There's our first circle. Click again. Oops, I noticed something. Our circle disappeared. Let's go back. We'll do escape, go back. And what's wrong is that under the, we have the entrance for the grow and shrink. And what we want to do is right now it's on a mouse click, and what we want to do is we want to make that as start after previous, which means we're going to have the same issue down here. So when we have this one, we want to start after previous. Okay, now let's take a look at our presentation. First click, second click, grow. Next click, disappear. Click appear, grow, disappear. Looks great. Thanks for watching this tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it, and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.